Spurs, eventually overtaking Kulusevski in the 42nd minute. Substitution for Spurs reversing the 23 Federal Park, a 7-50
네. Mike, do you want to start us off?
What's the news on Kulusevski, please? Is he badly hurt, or is it precaution?
It should be okay. Should be okay. Just talking to him after, the medical team's not too concerned with him. It's more of a knock than anything else. So yeah, we're hoping it should be okay.
Do you think his early injury had a bit of a psychological impact on the rest of the players who have to start even as a finalist place? Kind of be huge.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say, mate. I mean, you know, you kind of. I still felt we weren't anywhere near the level we needed to be today, irrespective of all that stuff. It's not helpful, and you know, when you lose, you know, a sort of another player, and you know, it's just sort of the fine line we're trying to navigate at the moment. But that aside, it was still a disappointing performance, and nowhere near the level it should be.
George?
Does it come with a balance of being hard on the players, but also knowing you've made 8 changes and just see how disjointed he is?
Yeah, I think that explains some of it, but not all of it. I still feel that we should have been better today than what we were. So, no, I can't sort of totally discount the performance today on the fact that I've made, you know, a number of changes, and you know, we should have still been able to perform better than what we did. No, we weren't going to. I mean, last time we played an artificial with Tamworth, I think it was literally the game after we got 2 calf injuries out of it, guys, and I think guys like Brennan, I think maybe Richie and Matters, so we were never going to risk those guys today.
What did go wrong, Ange? Was it a lack of desire?
I don't know. You know, I think I just think maybe some of it's just, you know, sort of psychological in terms of, you know, not being able to cope with what's before us at the moment. You know, with everything, with elite sport, you know, if you're a little bit off it, you pay the price. And, you know, we're kind of, like I said, trying to navigate this sort of fine line of being prepared for, you know, a really big game, and but also needing to perform at levels that you need to in the Premier League, because it's, you know, it's unforgiving, and we're just not navigating that well.
And in terms of creative options, is Wilson someone you're thinking about the 10 to play that?
I mean, it was needs must basis today. Just put him in there. He's played there before, because, like I said, I didn't want to expose any of the other guys from the other night today, so he had to play in there. And so yeah, but I think aside from, you know, all that, it's still about performance. You know, guys had an opportunity today to, you know, put their name forward and put some pressure on the guys who played the other night. Fair to say, you know, there wasn't any compelling evidence about that, and that's what I'm trying to push with these guys. That, you know, sometimes in football, you know, you just got to take the opportunities that are before you. They're never going to be perfect. You know, it's easy to say, well, you know, we've made 8 changes, but there is an opportunity there, and you know, you just got to take it when it's presented to you. And yeah, I'm disappointed Moore didn't step forward today. Dane's had an operation. He was carrying a groin injury all year, and we decided to put him, sort of get him the operation done so he's ready for pre-season.
Against you made some good saves. What was the idea of playing him? Is that because he's not registered for the Europa, and therefore Vicario got a problem?
No, Vicario's all good. No, it was just, again, it was just, you know, I think even with Vic, he's kind of, you know, he's having to perform every game, and I just felt it was a good time for him to, you know, because it was quite an emotional night the other night, and, you know, fair to say all the lads are probably still feeling the effects of it physically and mentally, including him, and I just thought it was a good opportunity. Tony has been training well, and I was keen to give him another sort of crack at it. As you said, he's not eligible obviously in Europe, but it was more about just giving sort of Vic a little bit of a sort of breather before the big final push.
Tom.
Yeah, but that's the problem, because how do you know? Like, we lost Lucas the day before a game. You've got to be ready for your opportunity. You can't, like, they may think that this team's already set, but if there's nothing else we've learnt this year is that nothing goes to plan. So I'm not thinking about the starting lineup now for the final, because we've still got another game and 10 days to navigate. So, if there is that attitude in there, then it's the wrong attitude, because you're missing an opportunity. Like I said, when Lucas went down, we had to throw Biss in there, so you have to be ready.
Yeah, I was just going to say, is that message going into that field? You have a huge chance there to show what you can do.
Well, they missed one today, so I mean, there aren't going to be too many. So, there's their opportunity. Yeah, good to get him some match minutes, and hopefully we can get him some more match minutes against Villa on Friday, and it'd be good to get him back and involved and available. Yeah, look, and I get it, and people are banging the drum about this record, but with defeats. But if people don't see there's a correlation between the two, I'm not going to sit here. It's not exactly Pythagoras' theorem. It's quite simple to understand. We would have had much better results if we didn't have to navigate this. So either you understand that or you don't, and you beat us over the head. I get it. I'm not happy with the way we performed today, so that's what I look at. I think we could have performed better, and irrespective of the result, you can still lose a game of football, but our performance level wasn't anywhere near where it should be. That's my responsibility to address.
Is it heartening in a way that, say exactly the same things about Manchester United?
No, I couldn't care less. No, I said before, couldn't care less about Man U. They've got their own journey. It's about us and what we're trying to create here. And I think, it's too easy to accept, a performance that's not up to the level because of other factors. I think, irrespective of other factors, you should still be able to perform at a certain level, and we didn't reach that level today, and that's disappointing.
Okay, thank you.
Just one more thing. When you talk about the correlation, what you just said, does that suggest that past 12 to 13 the squad is improving?
No, I just think we haven't been able to cope with what's been presented to us this year, and a lot of that is because of the injury situation that we had, particularly early in the year, because it's not just about getting players back. Like I said, I've had to manage guys like Mickey and Romero and Destiny, and there is every possibility they could have played more than what they've played, but we've had to manage it, and we just haven't been able to cope with it. And we've got a lot of young players in the squad who we've exposed to a lot of football, and it's fair to say a few of them are looking tired, I think, because we're into our 60th or 61st game, and we haven't, because of the injury situation we've had, we've paid a price for that in the league. So, that's the sort of story as it's been told.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.